Glass FM, making a difference.
Good day to you, listener out there. Welcome to another edition of the Overview program on your number one online radio station, Glass FM. I am your host for today's Sunday, Nanmini Rejoice, and I'll be taking you through with the topic electoral rigging is. I'll be taking it bit by bit so you can get to know what electoral rigging is all about. Before I go down to electoral rigging, I'll be taking you through with what rigging means. Rigging is an act of arranging dishonesty for the result of something, for example, for an election to be changed. Rigging can also be a form of malpractice for political parties to win election. So, electoral rigging basically means rigging during election. That's the act of changing the result of election, the act of causing commotion for the actual result of the election to be changed. I'll be taking you through with some of the forms of rigging, which it can be as simple as threatening someone not to vote the opposition party, I beg your pardon. Threatening someone not to vote the opposition party, just as simple as meeting someone, pointing the gun to the person's head, threatening him, don't vote this party, whereas everybody has his own choice. It's supposed to be free. You're supposed to have the person you really want to vote for. You're not supposed to be threatened at gunpoint or with words to be able to vote the person you are not actually interested in. So some of the forms of political rigging are stealing of ballot boxes, important documents during election. But before we proceed into the forms of rigging, we'll be going on a musical break, and when we come back, we'll be telling you more about electoral rigging. Don't go nowhere. It's still the Overview program.
Glass FM, your number one radio station.
It's a blessing to see people with their heads up to the sky still. 'Cause honestly, for the same people, life can be so real. I'm amazed by all your strength, I am. And I'm grateful you come through, yeah. So I take this time to stop a moment and show my gratitude for you. I put my lighter in the air for you. I see what you're doing, yeah, I see what you go through. Put my lighter in the air, the truth is you're beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now put your lighter in the air for us. Everybody singing together, sing a new song. Put your lighter in the air for love. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Many mighty ships are sinking, many stars are falling down, and I count it as a blessing that you hold me up now. Oh, I can tell that you've been praying. My whole life has turned around. Yeah, yeah. And I can't go without saying that I thank God for you all now. Yeah, for you, I put my lighter in the air for you. I see what you're doing, yeah, I see what you go through. Put my lighter in the air, the truth is you're beautiful, beautiful. Now put your lighter in the air singing together, sing a new song. Put your light in the air for love. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, 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 yeah. Let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, 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 yeah.
Alright, it's actually Throwback Thursday and we just played you a throwback music. I hope you had an exciting time listening to that throwback music. But before we went on that break, we were actually talking about the forms of rigging, which are stealing of ballot boxes, stealing important documents during election. Just like when election is going in, you just see thugs stepping, picking the boxes, taking it to where you don't even know. That's a form of electoral rigging, stealing of important documents. Let's say the result is being compiled and before you know it, the result is missing. How? It's also a form of electoral rigging and false compilation of results. That it takes us back to stealing of ballot boxes. When these ballot boxes are being stolen, you find out that when they take it, they have other ballot boxes that they might have thumb printed on, and they get to put it there, and that gives us false results. That's false compilation of results. Then also the form of electoral rigging is also corruption, because all these I just mentioned above are all forms of corruption. All forms of corruption, because you trying to rig the election is not the actual results that they are getting. It's a very big form of corruption. Then putting pressure on people who want to really vote for who you want. That's trying to threaten people to vote your candidate, not who they really want to vote. Like threatening them, like you have to vote this person, don't vote Mr. A, vote Mr. B instead. Like threatening them, vote Mr. B, if not this or that will actually happen to you. Then also numerous registration and votes by same person. You find out that the same person keeps on registering over and over again and has the right to still vote multiple times, whereas each person is supposed to vote just once. But if I know that one person tends to get registered like up to 5 or more times, and that will also be compiled in his voting, and it still gets to give us false compilation of results. Then also voting by underage people. We all know here in Nigeria that the actual age for you to be eligible to vote is 18 years. But I found out that in some cases, people underage, that's people below 18, tends to get registered and be eligible to vote, whereas it's actually wrong. It's a form of electoral rigging. Then also manipulating of results. That one takes us to false compilation of results. After the results are out, you find out that some of the things are being changed. The actual result is not what is being read out to the general public. You find out that they must have changed it. Let's say it's actually Mr. B that won the election, but they might switch it to Mr. A to be in their favor. It's a big form of electoral rigging. So I'll be taking the causes of electoral rigging, which are corruption, poverty, poor political education. But before I break it all down, we'll be going on a time out, and when we come back, we'll be telling you more about electoral rigging.
With over 30 countries listening to us all over the world, we still continue to raise the bar when it comes to entertainment.
With riffs and runs, especially when it's worship. Do you understand? You can't just start on...
Wore the crown with dignity.
Ibombe! 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 Ibombe!
Sports.
Throw it out this time. The defence is looking very vulnerable here. They just can't cope. It's a searching ball.
Current affairs.
How has the project affected the price change for transportation so far?
It changed many things, many things. People are trekking, suffering, going up and down.
And lots more.
Glass FM, your number one radio station.
Welcome back from that time out. Before I went on the time out, I spoke about the causes of electoral rigging. Which one of it is corruption? You find out that when people are corrupt, when you cannot be able to stand on your own and say, this is what I want, when you are being enticed by money, by gifts, you find out that you tend to give out what you actually believe in, and you tend to believe in what the person wants you to believe in. Is form of corruption. Let's say in the electoral process, you are being given money to sell out your vote, either your vote or your PVC. Like your mind is being changed or is being turned around from what you actually want. That's a form of corruption, and that's some of the causes of electoral rigging. Another one is poverty. We find out that some people might be struggling from one thing or the other. Let's say in the instance of this money, the money we're actually struggling to get these days, the change of the currencies, we are actually struggling to be in the queue to get your money, and the politician or anybody actually contesting for the election will just come and say, okay, this is 10,000 naira, just vote me. I find out that at that moment you are excited and you just collect the money and you sell your vote. It's actually a cause of electoral rigging, and it's not good, it's not healthy at all, because at the end of the day we get to have leaders we didn't actually vote for out of our own. Another cause of electoral rigging is poor political education. That's when people are not really enlightened about how to go about the elections and so on and so forth. They tend to just believe what anybody out there tells them. They are not having that spirit of discernment of saying, this is the person, this is the right candidate for this, and this is the person I'm going for. They just tend to get with the flow and believe whatever they are hearing. And it takes us down to the consequences of electoral rigging. Some of the consequences of electoral rigging is wrong choice of leaders. We find out that after all this, it takes us down to the wrong choice of leaders, because the people that the people actually want, it's not the leaders the people actually want is not what they get, because the results are being manipulated in one way or the other. So it takes us to wrong choice of leaders. And the second one is prevention of free and fair election, because elections are supposed to be free and fair, but in cases of manipulation of results and so on and so forth, the election is no longer free and fair. It also takes us down to cases of violence, because in cases of stealing of ballot boxes, a scene might be created there, and it can lead to loss of lives and properties. People are being endangered in one way or the other. A fight might occur and people might get injured in one way or the other. And I'll be also taking us through with some of the solutions of electoral rigging. But before we go, I'll be taking you on a quick musical break, and when we come back, we are going to be taking you through with the solutions of electoral rigging. Don't go nowhere.
Thank you for the life that you gave to us. Thank you for your will to guide us. Thank you for your word to direct us. Oh, without a doubt, you're the God for us. In the morning time, you are the dawn. In the evening time, from dusk to dawn, we salute you 'cause you are the dawn. And for all the things you've done, a new life he gives. Friends and family, living in victory. Now I'm living in victory. Misery's far from me. ask myself, what kind of love is this? You've been blessing me, now I live in this. Some for many blessings, then I make the least. Oh, what I don't handle it. I take some time to reminisce of the many blessings I would have missed if I didn't have you running my midst. Thank you for loving me. He gave me life, he my friends and family, my friends and family. Living in victory. Far from me.
Welcome back from that throwback musical break. Before I went on the break, I was about to talk about the solutions to electoral rigging, which one of it is political awareness. That's for a political awareness for people to be able to know their rights so that they will not be manipulated in one way or the other, so that nobody can just come up and tell you this is that. You'll be able to know your right and what you stand for. You can be able to speak to the person and say, this is my right and this is what I'm going for. You cannot tell me to do this while this is what I actually believe in. Another form of the solutions to electoral rigging is voter education. People should be able to know how to vote, how to go about voting, so that at the end of the day, they might not end up giving their votes to the wrong candidate. They should have knowledge of this is this political party, this is their logo, this is the name of the political party, so that at the end of the day they might not end up voting wrongly, whereas this is the party they really wanted to vote for. Then also the other one is to avoid getting involved in electoral malpractice like stealing of ballot boxes. When everybody is being political awareness is being done to everybody, they will know that electoral rigging is actually very bad, and they will tend to stay away from forms of electoral rigging such as stealing of ballot boxes, manipulation of results, stealing of results, changing of results, and so on and so forth. That's all I can take for today. It was actually an amazing time with you here in the studio. But before I step out, I'll be calling our social media handles where you can connect with us for business and advert placement. You can get us at Facebook at Glass FM or Glass FMs. At Instagram, you can reach us at Glass FM radio station, at Twitter at glass_FM. You can also email us at glassfm.tv@gmail.com. And the phone lines in which you can communicate to us directly are +234 812 880 345 and 2. I'll call it again, +234 812 880 345 and 2. Before I step out, I want to urge you out there listening to us, please don't involve in any form of electoral rigging. Stay safe and stay out of trouble. Have a nice day ahead. Bye for now.
Glass FM, your number one radio station.